Hey guys, welcome back to Naledi Dilena. It's your girl Naledi and I hope you enjoy this video. So today we'll be talking about the 6 things I hate about the natural hair community. As a natural myself, you would think that I love this community and I feel welcomed in it. But my journey through this movement has been a bit confusing, and it took a while till I saw the results. And that had to do with me having to really sieve through all the nonsense. And I'm here to help you do that. Before we get into the crux of the video, I just want to explain what the natural hair movement or natural hair community is for all those who don't know. In official terms, the natural hair movement can be said to have started around about 2005, but early 2000s is round about the time that the movement began. Basically, the movement is of Afro-descendant people with very coily, curly and kinky hair, deciding not to relax their hair or chemically treat their hair such that it would appear straight. So basically allowing our hair to grow in its natural form and taking care of it in that way. The natural hair movement came into mainstream media because of a very successful American documentary named My African Heritage. Now, this particular information has to do with how the natural hair movement came into mainstream media in America. Therefore, this information can vary from continent to continent and country to country. But in general, around the world, the early 2000s marks an era when Afro-descendant people decided to really just grow out their hair the way it was without having to relax it for whatever reason. But mainly we used to relax our hair to assimilate to idealistic beauty standards, which were connected to white supremacy. That's another conversation for another day. Before we get to those 6 things that I hate about the natural hair community, I just want to explain in particular 3 terms which I believe are central to this conversation. If you are in the natural hair community or in the natural hair space, you'll see that these terms come around. And there are possibly other terms that will need explanation. If you want to explain them down below in the comment section for anyone who asks. And if I come across a term that I introduce later on in the video, I will do my best to explain it so that you guys aren't confused. The first term is shrinkage. This is what happens to your hair when it is exposed to moisture or when it's wet. So basically it coils up like a spring. If you pull a spring or stretch a spring, it will look a certain way. If you let go and allow it to slink back together and rest, you would essentially think it has shrunk, which is not the case. And that's what happens to our hair, especially when moisture is reintroduced to our hair. Your hair, in real essence, has not shrunk, as in it's still the same length, but it appears to have shrunk, and that's why we use the term shrinkage. I prefer the term coil up, as in to say that your hair coiled up, but it's not universal, and if I say that, people will get confused. The second term that I will be explaining is porosity. Porosity describes the way in which your hair absorbs moisture and how long it retains it. So it's got to do with 3 levels mainly: low, mid, and high. And this basically describes how fast or slow your hair absorbs moisture and for how long it retains it. I would advise you to research on this since I'm trying to, not make the video long. So if you're still confused, just go on the internet and you'll find everything that you need. But porosity is very important, and you can generally figure out how porous your hair is. And that's where we get the point porosity from. Porous, pores that let in things and put out things, mostly. But yeah, that's where we get the term porosity from. I, for one, don't know exactly where I stand in terms of low, mid, and high. I would say more on the low side, but we can, I sometimes feel like I'm in the mid section. But generally, when you find out how fast your hair absorbs moisture, how fast your hair dries out, and how long that interval is, you can kind of tailor make your routine according to that and use the correct products for that. The third term I will be explaining is your curl pattern. This is the natural form of your hair, how your hair expresses itself, for lack of a better term. Basically, you need to know your curl pattern in order to know what your hair looks like when it's healthy, such that when you see your hair not conforming to that pattern, you need to do some damage control. Now, we'll insert a hair chart so that you guys can see the possible hair curl patterns that are there, and that you can kind of see where your hair falls into. The best way to see your natural hair curl pattern is to wet your hair. So basically, when your hair shrinks and when it's wet, you kind of get to see the true curl pattern of your hair. This is the type 4 hair part of the hair chart. You can kind of see where you fall under. Mostly if you're a dark-skinned African girl, it's 4B, 4C. Type 3 hair can be described as curly, whereas type 4 hair can be described as coily. Type 2 hair is wavy, doesn't really apply to the natural hair community. Just wanted to show you the whole chart. Plus, there's type 1 hair, which is bone straight. Now onto the part of the video you came here for. The first thing I hate about the natural hair community is the myth that 4C hair is unmanageable. I say this is a myth because I know a lot of people with 4C hair, me included, that have managed to manage their 4C hair. It's all about figuring out your hair, knowing what it responds to, what it doesn't respond to, knowing its porosity, your curl pattern, what it's like when it's healthy, so you can figure out your routine and use the correct products. Once you've figured out that your hair is 4C, you can then follow other YouTubers or Instagram influencers with 4C hair and kind of take inspiration from their routine and their products. Tailor make your routine and your products for you, because even with 4C hair, it can be different because of things like density and porosity. But I'm saying all of this to say that once you figure out your hair, figure out what it needs, what it responds to, and what can damage it even, you'll find that it is very manageable. The third thing that I hate about the natural hair community is that a lot of the routines that are advised for people are complicated. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like I said, you need to figure out what your hair responds to, react accordingly, and keep it simple. Use products you need, use products that your hair responds to, and you'll find that you don't need to complicate your routine a whole lot. Now, the 3 reasons I believe cause people to complicate their routine is this. The first one being that they use a lot of products. The second being that they have a lot of steps to do in their routine because of the products they have. And number 3, they have a high frequency of doing those particular steps in their hair routine. You really don't need a complicated hair care routine. Keep it simple with your products and you'll be fine. The fourth thing I hate about the natural hair community is YouTube. Now, YouTube can be a great resource, but as we all know, great resources can be misused. For one, people have a tendency of mistitling their videos, saying that their videos have some connection to 4C, yet the person in the video has probably 4A or 4B hair. And this is very problematic because for a lot of us 4C hair natural sisters, we have trouble finding representation and somebody that can help us through our journey. And by mistitling your video, it confuses us further. Now, there might be multiple reasons why people mistitle their videos, but the main two I know of is one, they may not truly realize that their hair is not 4C, or two, they know that by titling their video for 4C, that they will get an added audience. Whether or not they're helpful to that audience is not their concern. The second problematic thing on the YouTube space concerning natural hair sisters or natural hair communities is that you can get inspired and then get despair very soon. The second problematic thing on YouTube concerning the natural hair community is that you can get demotivated as quickly as you can get motivated. A lot of these YouTubers may have products that you may not have, techniques that you may not know how to do, products not in terms of just hair care, but equipment. Exactly, that's what I was looking for. They may have equipment that you may not have. And there's a whole lot to their, videos that may not apply to you or that you do not have. And it's easy to get demotivated because of that. Use YouTube for inspiration and not try to imitate it, because that will be very difficult to do. And so just use it as inspiration. Take what you see and, put your own twist on it so that it's manageable for you. The third problematic thing about the natural hair community space on YouTube is that there can be somewhat of a hair mafia. I hope I said that right. Of a hair mafia in the comment section, with people telling YouTubers that they're doing this right and this wrong and that they can do this other thing better. And it can be a bit overwhelming because there's all these opinions chiming in, all these opinions being thrown into the space. Is there good criticism? Yes. But take everything with a grain of salt. You might find something that can help you, but understand that everybody's journey to a certain point is an individual journey. Even if you find a YouTuber with the exact same hair as you in terms of curl pattern, porosity, density, and all of that, just realize that even with all of that in common, your journeys might be the same in terms of the products at hand and how busy you are and this, that, and the third. So try not to take things personally. The fifth thing I hate about the natural hair community is the obsession with length. If you look at the natural hair community on YouTube, you'll see that a lot of the popular videos or the videos that get a lot of views are videos like how to get long hair, how to make your hair grow fast. If you do this, you'll get long hair. If you do this, your hair won't grow. So, these videos offer advice, quote unquote advice, on how to get your hair to grow fast. And, telling people all sorts of things. Now, this is problematic because one, it perpetuates the idea that some people's hair doesn't grow. And I'll tell you that that is scientifically incorrect. Even I, before, used to believe that my hair didn't grow, and that is incorrect. Scientific study will show you that people's hair grows grows between 4 to 6 inches every year. So your hair does grow, and you can't really change the rate at which your hair grows. The way your hair grows or how fast your hair grows will be consistent pretty much your whole life. And even then, there are phases to hair growth. I'll suggest that you guys do that research on your own because it will make the video very, very long. But even with that, it also perpetuates this whole obsession with length, perpetuates this idea that length is what you should always strive for. This obsession with length, which can be problematic because you're not necessarily looking forward to having healthy hair. You just want long hair. And that can only be temporary if the rest of your hair is not taken care of, or if other aspects of hair care are not taken care of. One thing I will say is that if you take care of the general health of your hair will grow, or you will retain the part of your hair that grows. Like I said, everybody's hair grows. What you need in order to have quote-unquote long hair is to retain whatever grows from your scalp. If you have a healthy hair care routine that takes care of your hair follicles, of the general feel of your hair, and the exposure your hair gets from day-to-day activities, you'll realize that your hair is growing, when in essence you're retaining length. Also, appreciate your hair even if it's short. There's some things I can no longer do with my hair right now because of the length it is at. And yeah, that's just how things are. There's versatility in short hair as well that people don't seem to be appreciating. Just appreciate your hair journey at whatever length you have, and realize that healthy hair is better than any other type of hair. The sixth thing I hate about the natural hair community is the natural hair mafia. Now, I alluded to this in the fourth point, but that was specific to YouTube. I will be talking about life in general, where we as natural sisters tend to criticize each other on the products we use, the techniques we use, our natural hair care routine, and the equipment we use and have. Now, do I believe that we can help each other? Yes, and I've been helped before and have helped other people. But as with dealing with human beings in general, people can have an ugly side. We sometimes dictate what is good and not so good. And a good example of this is when in the natural hair community, there was this movement to use natural product only, and a general shunning of synthetics such as grease, hair food, this, that, and the third. Now, are natural products good for our hair? Yeah, but so are synthetic products, especially if they've been made by experts in a lab who know what they're doing. And so this is just one example of what people can do to each other in a space in which we should be working together. A lot of people will tell you what to do, what not to do, how to do things, and they could be helping you. Honestly, they could. But beware of people that act like natural hair mafias. Another major point that is connected to the natural hair mafia is putting down people with relaxed hair. If you're a natural sister and you see somebody with relaxed hair, that's fine. It was your choice to embark on this journey and their choice not to. I know that for a lot of us, at some point in this journey, we come to be grateful and happy with the journey that we've gone through and would like other people to join us. But I don't think we need to be overzealous, and we just need to chill out if somebody decides to remain with relaxed hair. As long as they're taking care of it and it's healthy, I see no problem. Now comes to the part of the video I'd alluded to before, where I'll be introducing 3 natural hair YouTubers to all of you out there, specifically 4C girls, to help you in your Chizi Duru is a Nigerian-American 4C hair YouTuber. She has a variety of videos on hair and lifestyle. Efik Zara is also a Nigerian-American 4C hair YouTuber. As you can see, she has very long hair and knows how to take care of it. Last but not least, we have Tatenda. I decided to throw a little bit of Zimbabwe your way. As you can see, she's got a lot of natural hair videos with a splash of lifestyle. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you guys learned something. If you have any additions, subtractions, or any general questions, comment down below. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and please subscribe to give your girl some subscribers, some views, some engagement. And I'll see you in the next video.